The 714th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code MMASGPN to get a 50% deposit bonus of up to $1,000. And we're also brought to you by Rebet, a new sports book available in 45 states. Download Rebet in your app store and use promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $100. And finally, we're brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing the college football and NFL seasons with Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Howdy ho, Degenerinos. Welcome to episode 714 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to one of our friends in the Discord, Stephen Glansberg, who bet not on one Alexander Volkov takedown, not on two Alexander Volkov takedowns, but three or more Alexander Volkov takedowns, and got 50-1 his money for that. So this goes out to Stephen Glansberg. That will buy you a lot of pudding to eat. Not a lot of friends. You can't buy friends, but it will buy you some pudding.
Have you seen that movie now? Do you know that reference?
No, you explained to me the reference. That would be Danny Gumby really speaking there. No, I have not seen the movie yet. I am who am I? King of the North, Taco Fox, I believe, is what I'm known as. Yeah, this is not a UFC episode though. This is an Invicta. Yes, Invicta is back this Friday. Usually it's better. I prefer it when they run like different days of the week, but Friday we'll have to accept a Friday event, 9 p.m. Eastern start time. A lot of familiar names on the fight card, a championship fight up top, all that good stuff. But I, of course, am not breaking this down alone. I have the king. I may be king in the North. He is king of the regional MMA predictions. It'd be the one and only Danny Gumby Vreeland, who I see, according to the Golden Pineapple on our YouTube channel, that you did very good on Invicta. I mean on Octagon.
On Octagon, yeah. Octagon was a good time for me. Also, just shout out to that pick one more time for Stephen Glansberg, which, by the way, I tempted people in the Discord to go for the 2+. He went out of his way to play the 3+ at 50-1 instead of 25-1. And do you know when the last time Volkov had any takedowns in a fight?
Yeah, it's been forever. He averages like a half a takedown or less than
June of 2020. He took down Curtis Blades for some reason. He was out taken down 14-1 in that fight, but he got one takedown in that fight. And that was the last time he scored any takedowns. So I mean, like, it was the right game plan. I thought he should have won anyway. We will recap that more on Wednesday. As far as the Octagon stuff, Octagon continues to be a big payoff for us. We hit Ion Sergio in the makeshift main event because they lost the main event, I believe, at lunch before the event started. Did you hear about this?
No, what happened?
The champ got mad during the
right.
weigh-in.
Yes, I saw that.
During the press conference, he threw his belt at the other guy fighting. And I saw that and I was like, oh, whatever.
Happens all the time.
Happens all the time. But what I didn't see was when I went back, if you go back and you watch in like slow motion or you pay close attention, the belt actually clips the owner of the company on the way over, cuts his big bald head, puts a slice in it so that he needs stitches.
Oh, no.
So Octagon decided that they were going to fine him for the stitches that his the promoter needed. And he said that was disrespectful and that he would not be fighting. Which is just wild. But that being said, sick main event. We hit an underdog in Ion Serdu to knock out Kaik Britu. We also hit an underdog earlier on the card. Marek Bartel hit an inverted triangle in the first round. Didn't even make a sweat for it. I think all together it wound up being 6-2 because there was one fight shift and 2 cancellations. But ultimately, if you're only missing 2 fights and you hit at least 2 underdogs, that's a pretty good profitable day.
So you cut your boss's head and you're the one being disrespected? That's the
that's what I'm saying. And like
logic.
I don't know what they were trying to find him. I don't know what their purses look like over there. Somebody in our comments on YouTube, shout out to whoever it was that said this, it was really helpful knowledge, that the large portion of their income comes from sponsorships and stuff like that. So it's not through the pay. So I don't even know how much they could have been finding this dude, but like wild stuff and weird to see a main event fall apart like that.
These things happen in MMA,
These
correct?
things happen in MMA.
I was going to say question mark, but no. Yes, they definitely do. They happen all the time in MMA. Sally. All right. Not the ladies. These are, we're breaking down some fine ladies this week that they will behave like proper ladies. They will not be throwing things at each other at weigh-ins. And actually, most of them will probably have interesting costumes too. Invicta's big on dressing up like superheroes or whatever for the weigh-ins. So that's it's that they aren't a cookie cutter promotion like the UFC where everyone looks and acts the same. All right. Before we jump into Invicta SGPN app, I got to remind you, download our app if you haven't already. It's completely free and you have access, easy access, not just access to all our shows and all our pick pages and Gumby and my articles that we run every day on sportsgamblingpodcast.com. We do daily MMA picks on there as well now. So check it all out in our app. It's free wherever you get your app. So check it out.
And somebody hit a first bucket bet right before coming on air here. Brooke Lopez plus 950.
Plus 900, you said?
Plus 950, yeah.
Cool. So how much are you up with the first bet stuff?
Plus 47.5 units.
That's better than even your regional stuff.
And I've only been doing it for a couple months. Yeah, it's
right.
If you're not reading my daily first bucket article, you're literally just leaving money out. So
there you go.
You might as well get in on that.
You're probably not doing good enough, though. I'm sure someone is angry about
I haven't actually. One of your picks. I've been posting it occasionally on Reddit, and they're saying nice things on Reddit, which really tells you how things are going.
Yeah. Hopefully it bleeds over into Invicta, which is what we're going to jump into now. They're actually on the road. They're in Atlanta, Georgia, for this event that's this coming Friday. Invicta FC 59. Bernardo versus Maia is up top for the belt. 9 p.m. start time. CBS Sports Network in the States. Fight Network up here in Canada. The Eastern in Atlanta, Georgia. In a cage, 5 fights. That's another reason why I like Invicta. They don't have like 19 fight cards or 23 fight cards. They short and sweet. Get to it. And it's nice that they're actually running running monthly, which is a good thing. All right.
And that means we can give you picks for all 7 fights too.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to give you 5 in depth, and then the lightning round, I'm guessing, is going to be 2 fights.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Yeah. Look at that. All right. We're ahead of the books. We don't have the odds here. They want to hear what Gumby has to say about these fights before they give you odds. So we'll see what Gumby says. Starting with the atomweight fight. Come on, UFC, get these people in the UFC.
Although, did you hear what Dana said at the press conference?
I don't listen to Dana, so no.
I know you don't. I don't know why I asked questions like that, but he said Sika Izawa would be the perfect person to build an atomweight division around, and she just so happens to train with and be represented by the same management team as Kaya Sakura.
Beautiful.
So I'm just saying, like, the timing seems to be aligning. Would love to see it in the new year.
Yeah, they haven't given up on Japan yet, right? Okay.
I mean, if they need a Japanese champ, it's probably going to be Izawa.
just keep opening up new weight classes till you can finally get yourself a Japanese champ. Because you did not get one last night, unfortunately for the UFC. Instead, you still have a underrated, overlooked flyweight champ. All right, what are we doing? Atomweights is what we're doing. Monique, Adriane from Brazil, Ana Palacios from Mexico, 3 5-minute rounds, 105. And we will break down first with Palacios Guerrera, 9-3-1, 1 knockout, 5 submissions. She's been knocked out once, so a durable fighter. 1-0 Invicta. She's won 2 straight. Before that, she lost 2 straight. Used to fight up at strawweight, 2 years younger than Adriane. Adriane is 6-2 with 1 knockout. Never been finished in a fight. 2-1 in Invicta. She's on a 2-fight win streak. She's not fought though since last May. Hopefully she gets to fight more now that Invicta's up and running with the new TV contract. Has not lost since June 2019. That helps when you sit on the sidelines. 7 inches taller than Palacios, 4 inches of reach, because Palacios is the queen.
The short queen.
The queen of the short queens. We've broken down her before, right? She's 4 foot.
We have, yeah, right before her
4'8".
Right before her Flor Hernandez fight.
Are your kids taller than her yet?
They're getting there. They're getting there.
My kids are like a foot taller than her.
The oldest is only 6, and he's pretty close. Yeah, no, this was one of the ones that I thought I had a good idea of what the line was. I talked to some people in the know who have ins on how those lines get made, and they thought the exact opposite of me. So I thought Palacios here would be a favorite. She looks so damn good in her fight with Flor Hernandez. She's on a nice couple of fight win streak in Invicta. Her record's a little bit longer than Adriane. Like, I thought for sure she'd be a favorite. And they came in saying with the reach and the everything going on with Adriane, like they actually think she'll be the favorite. So we're just gonna say a pick him here. But my handicap of Palacios stands. Like, I think she's really good. Is she small? For sure she's small. But let's compare this to men's flyweight, because that's really what it is, right? It's the women's versus flyweight. Speed plays up over everything, right? Like, not a ton of finishes all the time in atomweight, not a ton of finishes all the time in flyweight. Just ask Cody Durden, who got his butt kicked to the edge of the earth and still didn't get taken out of there. So, like, speed and volume still play up, and that's the thing about Palacios here, is like that's her game. Or the way she runs into range and gets out of range, and her head movement is so much better than a lot of the women at atomweight. And in addition to that, that tends to be the thing I think that's the worst of Adriane. She is a little bit taller of an atomweight, and as a result, she's really stationary because she's used to being able to reach her opponents whatever. That works to some extent, but not when somebody is really good at getting in and out of range and really good at throwing those leg kicks in there. And not for anything either. Like, when we broke down Palacios right before she fought Hernandez, and I keep harping on that fight, but it's a really important one. Palacios surprised the hell out of me by suddenly being able to like wrestle really well. And so for me, like that's a great ace to have in your back pocket, especially up against a taller fighter who stands really upright. And Adriane's like takedown defense is always held up, but she's fought some kind of bad competition in there. Like, anybody who's tried to take her down has not particularly been very good. So for me, especially if she's going to come into even money, because I had her originally pegged like -175. Like I said, the people in the know said almost the opposite of that. I think they said +150 is what I could spend. If I can get her anywhere near even money, I like Ana Palacios here.
Tapology cappers 14% on Palacios, so maybe you'll get a good line if that's any indication. I know it's not always.
Only 14% of people on Tapology like Palacios. Wow, that's surprising. Because, for me, and maybe that's why they think this. I've always thought that like Tapology cappers usually hit the record pretty hard, or like I've said before, the organization, if you've been in it for a while.
Right.
And Palacios checks both those boxes. And maybe it's the short queen thing.
Yep. Gumby cannot quit those short queens. I know we've said it before. We've titled episodes that, but he cannot quit the short queens. Don't tell his wife, because she's not a short queen. She's a queen. Just she's not 4'8" though.
No.
All right. We are going up a weight class, strawweight. Valesca Machado. You may vaguely know that name. You'll know the other name in a second. She's from Brazil. Yasmin Castanho. She's fighting. She's from Brazil as well. 3 500 rounds. We'll tell you about Castanho first. Monstrina. So little monster. She's 6-1 with 4 submissions. Never been finished in a fight. This is her debut in Invicta. She did win her last fight. That was back in September 2023. She's not lost a fight since May 2022. She's got multiple regional championships on her
mantle.
Correct. Get our shirt, sportsgamblingpods.com/store. Get sticky with it. I didn't realize until recently we do have a sticky shirt in there. Did I know about that? Was I informed of that?
That's when you started saying it. You knew and then forgot. Yeah.
Well, it's on the way to my house, hopefully soon.
Oh, nice.
Because I bought one. So there you go. You shall see it on my person very shortly, hopefully. All right. She used to fight at flyweight. She's a year younger than Machado. An inch taller, 2 inches of reach. Machado, Tina Black, you know her as. Do we know why she's Tina Black?
No.
Yeah, we've been through this. We don't know why. Tina Black is Brazilians like to have a bunch of alter egos. That's pretty much the only explanation I have for it at this point. She's 14-4 with 1 no contest, 5 knockouts, 1 submission. She's never been finished in a fight. She's 4-1 in Invicta. She used to be the champion of Invicta. She's won 2 straight and 6 of 7. Was a regional champion, 0-1 in Contender Series because she lost to. Do you remember?
Was it Carolina Wojcik? It couldn't have been Carolina Wojcik, could it?
You can make
she beat Wojcik in Invicta. She beat Wojcik in Invicta, I think. It's now that I'm thinking of it.
Who did she lose?
For some reason, I think who beat
Brazilian. No, it's not a Brazilian. Sorry, interrupt. It is a Venezuelan fighter.
Did they not get a contract?
Yes, they did. They're in the UFC.
Oh, I got no clue then.
Piera Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember that at all.
She's still in the UFC, right?
Yeah,
last time I checked, she was in the UFC.
think so. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to do our state. We'll do our state of the UFC soon, actually, in a few weeks, and we'll know who's where and what's what. One note as a pro grappler used to fight at atomweight, and that's all I got.
So I'm going to preface this by saying I don't think I've ever picked a Tina Black fight correctly. I pick her when she's going to lose. I don't pick her when. Yeah, I pick her when she's going to lose. I don't pick her when she's going to win. She's so frustrating to me in a lot of different ways because, like, sometimes she looks incredible. Her hands look fast. Her takedowns come into place, and then sometimes she just forgets what she's doing, and it could not come more erratically and more upsettingly to me. So. With that being said, I'm taking Tina Black here. She's probably not happy to hear that, but I'm guessing she's going to be a pretty big favorite here. I'll say like -325. For me, the difference maker is her hands are a lot quicker in this fight. And also I like the way she moves forward. She creates a lot of power for somebody who's a strawweight. Like she knocked down Danny McCormick. She was actually well on her way to beating Danny McCormick in that fight before she kind of gave it away. I of course picked her to beat Danny McCormick. So that's how I remember.
Naturally.
Yeah, so like she creates a lot of power. She does a good job holding people up against the cage. And for me, I had to go back and watch Yasmin Castanho because I didn't remember. But one of her 2 losses on her record is Bruna Brazil. And I was able to find the footage of her fighting Bruna Brazil. And pretty much the most telltale sign of like the way she fights was that she's used to being able to like pick people apart. And as soon as Bruna Brazil started doing this elusive shit that like made it so that Castanho couldn't hit her, she got so frustrated and all the fundamentals of her boxing went to hell. She just like, you could just see that the level of frustration that she couldn't hit her made it so that she like tried to do this like berserker thing to like get near her, and it just made her awful and super easy to counter. And I think Tina Black can do a lot of those same things. I don't think she's as elusive. She does move forward more, but I think, you know, how light she is on her feet, the way her head moves side to side, I can see Castanho getting really frustrated in this fight and then just getting clipped on counters over and over and over again. So give me Tina Black, probably a big old favorite here.
A big old favorite with her big old hair. I assume she still has big old hair, right?
I think so. I don't know. I haven't been checking on her lately.
Well, we'll have to check him. Well, actually, we shall see on Friday. I didn't know Alexander Volkov was going to have cornrows last night either. So
that was wild, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I did know he went and got one of those Turkish hair implants. He went David Jackson style.
Yeah, Paulo Costa. Yeah, all the rage in the UFC. All right, before we jump on, let me on to the next fight. Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Pick'em is one of the biggest menus for all sports. They got. Actually, no, they don't got. I'm not at that part yet. You can win up to 1,000 times with Underdog streaks. Underdog is always making it easier to win with profit boosts and gimme pick'ems. They got NFL, college football, college basketball, MMA, NBA, NASCAR, and more. And you can now use specials and boosts and all flex entries. Gumby, do you have a play for us?
I absolutely do. So on Monday, there's actually only one basketball game this Monday. Did you know that?
No, I haven't done my article yet tonight.
Yeah, so well, you're gonna have a pick between the Knicks and the Raptors because those are the only 2 teams playing.
Well,
and I'm of course gonna take the higher than on Grady Dick's points and the higher than on Grady Dick's 3-pointers made. You can pick whatever one you want, but he went absolutely bonkers against the Mavericks Saturday night, 27 points, lighting it up from deep. Give me more. Grady Dick higher thans.
Give him more Dick, ladies and gentlemen. Sign up with the code MMASGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MMASGPN. And we're brought to you by Rebet. Rebet is a new social sportsbook available in 45 states. There are plenty of betting opportunities available on Rebet. It's easy to use and great for people in states where traditional sportsbooks may be restricted. Boo to those states. Download Rebet in the App Store and use the promo code SGPN for 100% deposit match up to $100. That's Rebet, promo code SGPN. It's probably like Utah or some state like that doesn't let you gamble, right? Probably some boring state like that.
I don't know.
No,
Montana,
I think
maybe?
they have casinos actually. Yeah, maybe. All right. Yeah, Gumby can't quit the short queens or the Dick. Grady Dick. All right, let's move on. Shall we, Gumby? Let's go to we're going up in weight. Again, we're going up another weight class to 125. That would be a flyweight. Alejandra Lara She is the one that draws things on her, writes messages on her body at weigh-ins. She's from Colombia. She is up against Paula Cristina from Brazil. This is a very Brazil-heavy fight card. 3 5-minute rounds, 125. I can tell you about Cristina first. Bittencourt is her nickname, of course, naturally. 6-3 with 4 knockouts. Never been finished in a fight. 0-1 in Invicta. She's lost 2 straight and only won 1 of her last 4. Has not won since December 2022. However, she has multiple regional championships on her
mantle.
Correct. Get the shirt, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Get sticky with it, just like I am going to. 0-1 in Bellator. Used to fight at bantamweight. Lara Azul, which is blue. I guess her nickname is blue. She's 11-7. 5 knockouts, 3 submissions. She's been submitted once. This is her debut in Invicta. She's won 2 straight. Before that, she lost 4 straight. 3-6 in Bellator. She's another one that has multiple regional championships on her.
Mantle.
Correct. Get our shirt and get sticky at sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Has missed weight before at this weight class. 2011 pro MMA debut. 3 inches height, 3 inches of reach over Cristina.
Yeah, I'm going to say that Lara will probably come in here as a pretty big favorite. She is a fan favorite. Her record looks a little better. I think you just said Paula Cristina 1-3 in her last 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, let me see.
I wasn't listening super careful,
Yeah,
but
you're
like
right.
I do think she was 1-3 in her last 4.
Yeah.
So I think between that and the fact that Lara has fought for Bellator, like I said, she's got a pretty good fan following. You're probably going to see Lara at like -275 and Cristina in the like +250 range. And I love Paula Bittencourt here. I was a big hater on her going into her last fight. She fought Kate Bassick. I remember that very vividly. Because I remember watching the fight, and you know how Invicta does. I don't know if they'll be able to do it in Atlanta, but they used to, when they fight in Kansas City, they give you the updates on the scoring every round.
Right. Yeah. Open scoring. Yeah.
And the open scoring for the Paula Bittencourt versus Kate Bassick fight, I was shocked. I thought Bassick had lost rounds, and I had a bet in on Bassick. And I just kept being like, am I mixing up the colors they're putting down for the live scoring here? Because I like really thought Paula Cristina was winning the rounds, and they kept getting them to Bassick. So, for me, the difference maker here, I think Lara is a better striker. I think that's part of the reason you'll see her as a favorite. But the problem for me with Lara is that like she scrambles well, but she doesn't necessarily have good takedowns or good takedown defense. And also when she's on her back, she just settles there. Like she scrambles really well up until she's held down. And then like, that's where she is. And if you watch Cristina in that fight with Bassick, like she had a lot of good grappling positions. Like her takedown game was on point. Bassick did try to take her down a couple of times, got her to like a seated position, but never had like tons of success on the ground because Cristina doesn't settle in those positions. So like, I can see Cristina like, she's definitely more patient than Lara. Lara's a little, more crazy on the feet. I can see Lara having a little bit of success up there, but like then just overextending herself a couple of times, getting taken down and beaten up by Paula Cristina on the mat. So give me Cristina, especially if we're going to see her anywhere near 2.5 to 1.
Find me another podcast where one of the hosts even knows who Paula Cristina is, let alone able to hate on her in the past fight, right? No one has any opinion on
Paula remember Cristina. Hating on her. To be fair, I hated on her a little bit because I had interviewed Kate Bassick before that fight.
Right. Yes, the Bassick. I had good jokes about Bassick, but anyhow, let's move on to the co-main event. Featherweights, Riley Martinez, United States, Jackie Cataline from the US as well. 3 5-minute rounds, 145, excuse me. And we're going to tell you about Cataline first. The hybrid is 5-3, 2 knockouts, 1 submission. She's been knocked out once. 1-0 in Invicta. She's won 2 straight, including her last fight via TKO. She went 1-0 in Bellator, 2-2 in PFL, 1-0 in Power Slap. There you go. 2 inches of reach over Martinez. Martinez Rad is the nickname. Very cool nickname. Rad Riley. 4-0, 2 knockouts, 2 submissions. So she's finished everyone. She's 1-0 in Invicta. She's got 3 inches of height over Cataline, 4 years younger.
Now, I would imagine Riley Martinez comes in here as a favorite. She's 4-0. She's fighting somebody who's 5-3, right? However, I did say that last time about Jackie Cataline. I said like, oh, she'll definitely be a dog here. She's 4-3. She was fighting Kelly Otoni in her last fight. And I was like, Kelly Otoni's 5-0. She's from Brazil. I think she was a jungle fight champ. I was like, Cataline will definitely come in here as a big dog, and I'm pumped about it. She was -300 at post. Because like I think the books know that the experience that Jackie Cataline is like for real. So, Riley Martinez, definitely better than Kelly Otoney. I still think Cataline probably comes in close to even odds here. So we'll say pick him again. Because like all the indicators usually would favor Riley, but like clearly the books know something about Jackie Cataline. I'm going to go Jackie Cataline again. I think her ability to be a bruiser, which is exactly what she did to Kelly Otoney, it's just like, it's good enough to beat a lot of these featherweights in Invicta. She did a really good job of just like, watching Otoney march forward and throw whatever it is she throws in terms of strikes, and then just put her up against the cage and beat her up there. And you could see signs of her doing that against some like really good fighters in PFL too. Like I know she lost it. I want to say it was Evelyn Martins in PFL, but like she had her moments in that fight where she did look good and she did look, overly powerful. And if you watch Riley Martinez, her jiu-jitsu is really good. But again, kind of like I was saying before with who was I saying before with, was it Castanho? I said that? Never mind. I don't have to do a call back here. Her jiu-jitsu is good. Her takedown's questionable. So like, I don't know that she'll be able to drag it to the floor unless Cataline wants her to. And if that's the case, Cataline will want to, she'll be in the ground and pound positions for me. So you could also just sort of point out that Riley Martinez, it's clear like jiu-jitsu is her first love and she kind of hasn't figured out the striking side of things yet. And as a result, like it's obvious when she's shooting those takedowns, which is maybe why the takedowns suffer a little bit. So I like Cataline just by being a bruiser and dictating where this fight goes.
All right, where do you think the odds?
A 4-0 fighter versus a 5-3 fighter on this stage of the regional, like Riley Martinez should be like -250 if it's like most of situations. But Cataline was 4-3 going into her last fight with Kelly Otoney, 5-0 Kelly Otoney, and she was still -300. Like it still didn't give us a playable line. So I'd like to say Cataline would come in as a dog here, but like I'm just gonna say pick up.
Let's see what the gens at Tapology think. Cataline 20%. So maybe you get a good line going.
But I want to say it was similar last time with the Otoney.
Yes,
like
right.
You see the record and they jumped on that. The books for some reason knew better.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of books, mybookie.ag. We are brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie has been running on SGPN for years. Check out their new and improved website. Great on mobile. Plus props for every game and the live dealer casino. Even new early cash out options are available there. Check out the MMA lines over there. And when you do head to mybookie.ag, make sure you use the promo code SGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. SGPN's proud partner, Rhythm, is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds, get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model, copy one of the top-performing models from the leaderboard, or have Rhythm build you a model. And you can now track your props in the Rhythm app. NFL picks, NFL props, college football, college basketball, and NBA. Rhythm has it all. Al Horford player props, damn right. They got those as well. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And just like that, we are at our main event of the evening. A couple of familiar names for UFC fans, and they're fighting for a belt. This is for the Invicta FC Bantamweight Championship. Current champ Talita Bernardo, Brazil, versus Jennifer Maia, the challenger from Brazil as well. 5-minute rounds, 135 pounds. The challenger Maia, 22-10-1, 3 knockouts, 6 submissions. Been knocked out once, submitted once. It's very impressive. 5-2 in Invicta, the former champion as well. She's won 3 of her last 4, including her last fight. Went 6-6 in the UFC, challenged for the belt at 125 pounds, where she used to fight down at. She did miss weight a couple times at 125, but now she's up at 135. You shouldn't have to worry about that. Was a regional champion, as well as an Invicta champ. 2009 pro MMA debut. 0-1 as a pro grappler, 1-0 in pro Muay Thai, a year younger than Bernardo. Bernardo is 11-4 with 7 submissions, been knocked out twice. 4-0 Invicta, is the champion, has already successfully defended the title once. She's won 5 straight fights, including her last fight via submission. Has not lost since May 2019. Went 1-3 in the UFC, 1-0 in Octagon, 4 inches of reach over Maia.
I think with the success that Maia had in the UFC and how good she looked in her first fight back in Invicta, despite Bernardo being the favorite, being the champ, I think Maia's got to be the favorite here. I would be shocked if she wasn't the favorite in this fight. I think You know, the 1-3 finish for Bernardo, a little bit less good competition. You know, I think she lost to Marion Renault, if I'm remembering correctly, whereas Maia fought the tippity top of that. Granted, down at flyweight, but like, you know, the tippity top of competition in that division. I would imagine being the champ holds some sort of weight for Bernardo. So we're going to see that number probably pretty low. I would imagine like -135, -140-ish for Jennifer Maia. And I'll still take Jennifer Maia, even as a slight favorite here. I think the difference maker for me is if you watch that Talita Bernardo fight against, it was Olga Rubin she defended against. Olga Rubin just wants to be on the mat so bad that she like conceded some like kind of crappy takedowns. Remember Olga Rubin's the one who hit the buggy choke in Invicta. And so like, I think she thought that that was her best avenue to win, but like Bernardo wasn't doing well on the feet against Olga Rubin, who like doesn't enjoy striking. Mm-hmm. And then like got kind of some crappy takedowns in controlled position. And for me, you know, ultimately she won that fight. She looked good towards the end of it. But like that kind of success is not going to come easy against Jennifer Maia, right? She doesn't just concede crappy takedowns. She doesn't just like back down and let you dictate your will in the way that you want to make this fight. Like Jennifer Maia will march forward. She's not going to knock you out, but she's going to put volume on you constantly in the fight. And so I see Jennifer Maia having a lot of success on the feet. I think Jennifer Maia will probably be able to deal with any of the grappling that Bernardo throws her way. We might see some stalemates up against the cage, but again, Jennifer Maia not having to cut down to flyweight over and over and over again. I think that just does wonders for her cardio too. I think we see a better cardio version of Jennifer Maia here too. So I'm going to go with Jennifer Maia. I think she outpoints her en route to a decision.
All right. Let's give you a recap, but don't you go away yet. Cummings got a couple more picks for you. He's got Maia. He's got Cataline. He's got Cristina. He's got Machado, a.k.a. Black. He's got Palacios. Now for the lightning round, Zap Bam Boom Pow. What you got for us?
So I'm going to start by taking Juliana Pereira. I actually like the opponent she's fighting, Natalie Salcedo. I will just say this, like Pereira is one of those people who came from IMMAF. Her Invicta debut went very well. She's got really tough top control wrestling. And like I said, I like Salcedo. I think she's got nasty jiu-jitsu. But the problem is she like, you know, in her last fight, I want to say she won the Peak Championship, which is where I want to say it happens in like Tennessee or Arkansas or something like that. But she won the Peak Championship. And when she did, she kind of like, she didn't pull guard. She like stumbled to her back in like when her opponent kind of tripped her. She threw up an arm bar, was really sharp. I think she's going to have a lot of those opportunities, but I think Pereira has just got the defense for it. I will warn people though with this lightning round pick, if Pereira comes in here at like -700 because she's an IMMAF champ and the hype is clearly behind her, stay off that line. Don't work it into parlays. Like Salcedo's better than that. Give her a little bit more credit. And then in the other fight, I'm going to take Ashley Smashley Barrett. She is a Massachusetts gal first and foremost, but also like, you know, she comes from a Taekwondo background, and since taking like getting into MMA and starting to do wrestling, like clearly that's the thing she's best at. You know, great ground and pound, really good submissions, great top pressure. She did wrestle in high school after starting with Taekwondo, so she's got that feather in her cap, and she's really tough. So I expect her to just grind out another win. So that's Juliana Pereira and Ashley Barrett.
Ashley Smashley. All right, you are set. We've smashed all that into your ears and or eyes, and now we'll get out of your orifices until tomorrow. We're doing our run of regional events. We got, what do we have tomorrow? We have Cage Warriors tomorrow. We have PFL Europe Championships on Tuesday. Then we got the last UFC of 2024 Wednesday and Thursday, and then we are going to be out in the desert of MMA.
No, there's good MMA at the end of the year. KSW's got a banger of a card. I want to say on the 20th. Octagon's got an end of the year card that is absolutely insane. We're going to see Ronnie Paradiser versus Kita. Will Fleury's on that card fighting for the belt against the light heavyweight champ there. And so like they've got some events that we'll be able to cover. But then we will also sprinkle in some other good stuff.
Yes. Don't worry. We're not going anywhere, and we shall entertain you and make you money. we'll be in the Discord as per usual, regardless of the season or what events are on sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. We are, of course, on YouTube. Thank you for subscribing. Hit us up. We have a very active comment section there at MMA Gambling Podcast. Of course, Twitter, X, Gumby runs our account at SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Vreeland, at Jeff Fox Writer. What else? Instagram on Jeff Fox Writer as well, if that's your more your jam. I've got a Substack. The last UFC pick'em of the year will be going up tomorrow, Monday. So check it out, moneymma.substack.com. Gummy's got Top Turtle MMA podcast. He interviews interesting people in the MMA world. Do we know who's on it this week yet? Or are we talking way too early?
Yeah, we got 3 people on it this week.
All right.
Overbooked myself on interviews, so we wound up just running them all. Fernando Padilla, who is fighting on the last UFC fight card of the year, as well as 2 of the women we just talked about, Ashley Smashley Barrett and Natalie Salcedo.
All right. So check out Top Turtle. And of course, we're at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon to get some bonus content. We shall be back tomorrow. As I mentioned, be Monstrina, Jeff Fox, Tina Black, Freeland, and we'll talk to you then.